Oh, yes, and oh, yes,
Yeah,
and oh, yeah.
yeah. You had to know this is getting played today.
Of course. Oh my God, I can't breathe with that on.
Oh yeah, take that off. Take that off.
September.
Just wanted to get to that part. That was all.
Good anymore, and would probably be sued.
Yeah.
Right away.
We don't have that kind of money. We don't have any money.
No, that actually like fogged up my glasses. I didn't have a very good seal there.
Earth, Wind, and Fire fogged up your glasses? They'll do that.
Yeah, that was just throwing off such heat.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you had a good, safe weekend and took in a lot of sports. It's nice. Gotta say, it's nice having the NFL back.
Yeah.
Just having that Sunday. Have not, I was telling Tyler before the show, had the privilege to take in a red zone day yet, which is my favorite way to watch it, especially because, yes, the Raiders are winning right now. We'll get into that later. But there's a very good chance they're not going to win. And as is usually the case, so fantasy football is my favorite part of NFL. And red zone is definitely the way to do it. But haven't had a chance to take in any games on red zone, but I have had, opportunity to see a decent amount of football. Mm-hmm. So it's nice just to have that, especially that 10 a.m. games. Get up, cup of coffee, throw on red zone, and you're just flying around, just watching your team. So it's almost like watching your fantasy team play an actual game when you have red zone on, because you just see everything that happens, good or bad.
Yep.
But a lot of other good stuff going on over the weekend too. We're going to get into all of it. So any calls, hit the link. Comments, of course, you know where to find us: YouTube, Facebook, and on Twitter. We see those, posts on the, what do they call it, Periscope. So hit us up there. But Tyler, how was your weekend?
Oh, it was good. Just got to watch a lot of sports. Hung out. As you saw on Friday, I was doing a show from a different location. Got to do a little house sitting, little puppy sitting. Definitely, that puppy reminded me, why I don't really want kids right now, because that thing woke me up in the middle of the night multiple times. But all in all, it was good. Again, got to take in a lot of sports, so that was a nice, fun weekend. Ronnie, how was yours?
It was good. Yesterday, again, did not get to see Red Zone, but I did get to go to Peabody's up in Encinitas.
Nice.
Actually ran into the benefactor of this program, the CEO. Bo was there, being from Encinitas. Everyone, it's a local's favorite spot.
Did he just ignore you the whole time? Just, oh, God, this guy.
This guy. Don't make eye contact.
Yeah.
Now we hung out for a little bit, watched some football, had some breakfast. It was a good time. Then went to the beach, and got to see some of that Sunday night game that actually ended up being pretty much as promised. Maybe the best game of the weekend.
Yeah.
Both teams showed pretty well in that, but and then tried to catch as much of the golf as I could. I know it was we'll talk about it. Didn't really align with the free time that I had. Fortunately, but it was just catching bits and pieces of it here and there, and that was a pretty cool tournament too. But shout out to the Padres as well for clinching a playoff berth for the first time in, I think,
in what,
14
9 years? I thought it was like 9 or 10. I don't know what it was, but
a long time. So shout out to the Padres. I'd like to thank myself for no longer being affiliated with the club. Obviously, I was the problem, so you're welcome.
Definitely.
But look forward to seeing the Padres in the playoffs. And, there's only, unfortunately, one pro team left here, big league team in San Diego. And I just think it'll be cool to see them go on a playoff run and see what happens. The sports fans here have been starved for something like that. So I am legitimately excited for you guys, even though Tyler and I are Dodger fans, having been close to working around and with the Padres. I think it's about time that this happens. So I am happy to see that.
It's hard not to be excited for them. I mean, they're a fun team. Like, if they weren't in the Dodgers division, I'd be rooting for them all the way. I mean, but no, they're a fun team to watch. I like it. I'm glad that San Diego does have something they can get behind that's going to make a title run. So, hey, good on you.
Hold on, I'm just filling out the little ticker banner here.
But, let's go ahead and just kind of jump into, football obviously dominated the weekend, especially obviously yesterday being Sunday in the NFL season. Couple pretty big games. You did mention the Sunday night game. Of course, the Seahawks were able to hold off the Patriots on a last-second goal line stand. Just an unbelievable game of just two teams going back and forth. I was telling you in the pre-show, my only note in here just says, "Holy shit, Russell Wilson is amazing."
Yeah,
That dude, he's been unreal so far this year. But Cam Newton looking maybe a little bit like 2015 Cam Newton, just kind of holding his own, making some nice runs, some nice throws. Unfortunately on that last second play got shut down pretty hard. I know there's been a lot of criticism because everybody knew that play was coming. I'm not even against the play call because that's a play that was working for him all game. Just the execution wasn't there.
Yeah, at the wrong time. Yeah, got blown up.
I'm not against the call itself. Just the execution wasn't good. But yeah, that was a very exciting game last night.
Yeah, everyone is. As I am a Raider fan, I hate the Patriots just as much as everyone else. But interested to see how this new era begins without Tom Brady, who's been there for seemingly forever.
Yeah,
and I gotta agree with you. I feel like Cam showed that he's still got something in the tank. He looked pretty impressive, and a couple of throws, the big one down the middle of the field to Edelman was like, all right, Brady's not making that throw at this point. There was another one where he kind of just like a little too much hot sauce on it, blew right through the hands of Edelman in the end zone. And I was just kind of thinking inside, like, yeah, you got to get ready for these Cam throws because it's a little different than
a little bit different than what Brady's throwing. Yeah. No, Cam's been very impressive. I mean, it's obviously a very, very different offensive system to what Tom Brady would run, but no, he's definitely got a little more pep on those throws. Obviously, he's got the mobility issue, or not the non-issue that Tom Brady had since he can't run. But no, Patriots have been looking good so far. Again, I can't give it credit to Russell Wilson. That dude is absolutely incredible. I mean, it's only 2 weeks in, so this counts for nothing, but clear front runner for MVP the first 2 weeks in my eyes.
I would agree, and I'm not by any means a Chris Collinsworth fan, but he did have a sort of a funny anecdote where he mentioned, I think maybe Michael's brought up that he's never received one first place vote. Right. And Collinsworth said, the year that I was actually going to vote for him, I didn't turn my ballot in time. And now he's been like, they don't let him vote anymore. So he's like, you can blame me for that. That's probably my fault because he would have had one. And I knew I was going to vote for him. I didn't turn the thing in, and now they don't let me vote anymore.
That's good. I missed that one last night.
The other thing is also Steve Belichick. What is going on with that mullet, son? I don't know how many people out there have seen Squidbillies. Great show. Highly recommend that. But he is exactly right on with the Rusty Kyler mullet there.
Yeah,
the spikes on the top, and it's kind of spiked out down the bottom. I mean, his is a little longer in the back, maybe, or it's a cartoon character, so it's the way they've drawn. But man, it is damn close and kind of eerie to see that.
Yeah, when he showed me that earlier, I was like, yeah, I can definitely see that. That's a very good observation by Darnell there.
I also did see a couple tweets in regards to Bill. He was wearing like one of those 95 masks, and he sort of had it folded up, or coaches have been complaining like when they're trying to get on the headset, it's kind of hard. Like you saw earlier tonight in the Monday night game, Gruden, when they're on offense, he's constantly pulling it down so he can yell into the headset. And when they're on defense, he pretty much keeps it on. Yeah. And sort of, Peyton's sort of doing the same thing. But Steve was keeping it on pretty much the entire time, and he was still doing the thing where he's covering his masked face with the play card. And I saw a couple, funny tweets. I think someone on Twitter was like, man, those Belichicks are next level. His mouth's already covered, and he's still covering it. Those guys don't play around. But his hair does look ridiculous. I don't know how long Bill's going to let that go.
I'd say keep going. Just keep it going, Nothing wrong with a good mullet in the year 2020.
We do have an update also from resident cycling insider on the program, Cease. Also, sport fisherman expert, Cease.
That's right.
I don't know how to say this name. I'm going to say Tadej Pogačar. Massive upset. 52 seconds down in the individual time trial for the upset win. Shout out to him. Thank you, Cease, for your field reporting there. Update us on any, cycling events. I don't know. I guess There's Tour of California probably coming up at some point next year. I don't know. I don't know about bikes.
The other big, I don't know if you want to call it news, like a big game of the weekend was in the morning game, the absolute epic. I don't know if I want to call it a comeback or a collapse. I'm not sure if that's like a 50-50 thing, if it's an 80-20.
I'm going to say 80-20.
You're going to go 80-20, Falcons collapse?
70-30. I'll give, there's a couple plays. Dak made a couple plays. Cooper had a nice catch. Things like that where it's like, all right, but God, the Falcons, again, as Nick comes popping in. How about them Falcons? Yeah, how about them Falcons?
How about them? Yeah, they blew it pretty hard. They became the first team in NFL history to score at least 39 points, commit 0 turnovers, and still lose the game. Prior to yesterday, the NFL teams were 440-0 under those circumstances. And the Falcons just absolutely shitting the bed, particularly on the infamous, will probably be replayed for a long time, onside kick, where 4 Falcons players literally just stood there. Just stood there.
Yeah, we got to talk about the onside kick because that was baffling to me. I don't know how that many people involved cannot know the rules of what you have to do on the onside kick, just all at the same time, and just allow that to happen. It's insane, but as Tyler was saying, tweeting during the game, Falcons going to Falcons, and boy, did they Falcons. I think based on the game score, win probability, it was actually a lower probability of them losing that game than the Super Bowl that they blew against the Patriots. And they, still out there setting records. I think it was 99.9% on that same win probability metric yesterday's game, and they still lost. So another Twitter friend of ours, Frank Ojeda, coming to Clippers of the NFL. That's
that's damning. That's what that is.
Is anyone really in a position to disagree?
No, he's right, but it's still damning.
The Falcon slander was pretty strong on Twitter yesterday. Not as bad as the Clippers slander, infamously, that we showed you guys on Wednesday. But yeah, that was just a head scratcher. I don't know why it always seems to have to be the Falcons, but man, that was insane. I stopped. We were at Peabody's just sort of checking all the screens. So it wasn't red zone where it's just like flashing, as everything's happening. I was like, all right, well, it looks like the Falcons might have this wrapped up. I'll just occasionally peek back over there. And then it just kept getting realer and realer and realer. And then it got too real. And then it was way too late. It just completely, the wheels fell off.
Keeping it real went wrong there.
Keeping it real went way wrong in that case. That was...
You made a funny point about how it seems to happen with the Falcons because, this is coming from, you're a Raiders fan, I'm a Chargers fan. We both have the mentality when our teams are winning of like, okay, something bad is about to happen. Like, I thought that the entire game yesterday, and the Chargers were leading most of the game, eventually did lose it. Of course, I mean, right now, your Raiders have the lead, and before we jumped on the air, you were, it's kind of like, all right, how are they gonna blow this? Like, what's gonna happen? But the Falcons seem to kind of take it to another level of just like epic, horrible losses. I mean, this one again, like I've watched the video of the onside kick, and it's like, I could forgive all 4 of those guys if they were like trying to block one of the Cowboys or like, doing something. But it was literally 4 guys that formed a campfire circle around a ball that was spinning this way like a top, and then like Cowboys players just ran right between them and jumped on it once it hit 10 yards. And I would assume these guys are professionals. They've been playing forever. Like, you got to know, like, you can, if you're the receiving team, you don't have to wait 10 yards. You can touch the ball.
Yeah,
you can touch a ball. Like, it's just mind boggling.
It kind of reminds me of the every time the NFL catch rule always gets picked apart and the football move thing gets bandied about. What you were just saying there is somebody just make a football move. Make contact with somebody.
Somebody move.
Somebody. Dive towards the ball. Just act like you're there to play football. Like, what are you doing? Just standing there. Just, hey.
Not even a football move. Just move. Just do something.
Yeah, just make a physical movement with your body.
Yeah, it was. I mean, again, the Falcons are going to get shit for it, and they rightfully deserve it. I mean, heads got to roll. So, like, I don't know if the coaches got to be fired, players got to be cut. Like, I don't know, but you got to do something because that's horrific. Like, there's absolutely no excuse for that. So, again,
and that's really a win that, especially when you had it so much in the bag and you already lost the first game, that could kind of set you back on the right course.
Oh,
like
100%.
You got to close that out. Now you're 0-2. And also the Cowboys, I mean, friend of the program, Justin, I was kind of hoping to see just all the hand-wringing that was going to go on if the Cowboys were 0-2. And the original trajectory of that game played out like it was because they were just getting whooped like all over the place.
Yeah.
They're turning the ball over. They just didn't look good. And, they're in that same position of we lost the first game. You really don't want to go 0-2. You're just in a hole in the NFL. So, because now you're getting into where you're definitely going to start playing more division games, and that is like a big swing if you lose those games. So
the Cowboys are fortunate they are in an absolutely terrible division. So
and there's that
they've at least got that going for them. But no, I mean, look, Cowboys fans, of course, be happy you made the improbable comeback and win. But there's definitely a lot you got to look into. Your defense has been absolutely awful. So they gotta figure some stuff out. But you know what? It's a lot better to figure out 1-1 than 0-2. So I definitely got to give them some credit for that.
Exactly.
Did also want to give a comment. I did see Nick made a comment here about how about them NFL injuries. Oh boy, that was a rough day yesterday, man. That was kind of more and more news has come out today about people that are Saquon Barkley's out for the year. Cortland Sutton's going to be out for the year. Just so many players went down. The entire Niners roster got injured. Playing the Jets. It was just it's you definitely don't think about how important the preseason games are because they're boring. It's a lot of guys that are just going to be cut in a week or two. But I mean that activity is big. It's big just to get guys into playing shape.
Well, just a little more conditioning too. They were limited on how they could get together. They still had to follow all the health and safety protocols as far as workouts and things like that. So we might be getting to that point, and I doubt that we would see another weekend that was just so crazy with the injuries again. But it's kind of, we're going to be in the third week next week. Mm-hmm. There is a likelihood that something like this could happen again, just because of that lack of game shape, game speed, practicing, things like that. So this could be sort of a ongoing situation with the NFL with the complete removal of the preseason and the very limited sort of workouts, OTAs, things like that. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but yeah, the 49ers, man, it's like the whole team's gone now. That was insane. They already didn't have pretty much anyone to throw the ball to going into the game. And then they're just dropping left and right. Like every time I look up at that game, it's just like carted off or will not return. Then what is happening? Like but it was the Jets, fortunately. So maybe a couple of those guys, they were just erring on the side of caution. Like, well, it's the Jets. We don't need to go out there and be a hero.
Yeah.
It's week 2. It's the Jets. We'll probably figure it out, which they did. But
they did. They converted on a 3rd and 33 by running a simple counter play that got 50-something yards. So, Jets going to Jets as well.
Jets are going to Jets. And I did see the Giants, too. When I actually saw the Barkley injury, I was just happening to be viewing that game when it happened. And then I sort of did like when you're in the sports book and something that is just going to kill a bunch of people. Mm-hmm. Everyone that was playing fantasy was like, oh, no. Or like,
oh no,
just like going through their phone, like, oh, what league do I have Barkley in, or who has Barkley? Am I playing against Barkley? Like, everyone like phones up. Yeah. So that's a major. This guy was probably potentially number 1 pick in many leagues. I'm assuming
easily top 3 in pretty much
every league.
Yeah.
So that changes the fantasy landscape quite a bit. But man, some of the injuries, especially like season-ending injuries like Barkley or maybe Joey Bosa or Nick Bosa, sorry.
Nick Bosa, yeah. I was going to say, did you hear something I didn't? Oh, God.
Oh, breaking.
But
piling on. Barkley won't be doing Hulu commercials for a while. He could do it sitting down, maybe. I don't know.
But it was pretty brutal day. And Jaime, don't feel bad. You didn't jinx the Chargers. The Chargers jinxed the Chargers. That's it's just the way of life.
The Chargers, just by existing, did Charger things.
Yeah,
but I did want to talk about that.
Okay.
Because we saw today. If you watch the game, their first pick, Herbert came in, actually showed pretty well.
Did really well. Yeah.
Lead him down the field, took a couple big hits. Actually, I don't know if he knocked the guy out. The other guy kind of knocked himself out by just.
No, Herbert knocked him out. Herbert knocked him out.
Abs of steel, pecs of steel. It was a little, up here, but
chest.
He showed heart. I mean, he was making stuff happen out there. He did have the really bad interception, but kept him in the game where, maybe you, as a Charger fan, haven't exactly been inspired, shall we say, by Tyrod, who was unable to play. But Anthony Lynn comes out today and says, if Tyrod's 100%, he's the starter. Tyler, how do you feel about that?
Well, it's. Look, I can see where Anthony Lynn is coming from. You got this, just young, dynamic quarterback that can run around, kind of extend plays. Had some good throws with his arm. Threw for 300-plus yards against the defending Super Bowl champions. Took him into overtime. Why would you want that when you've got a guy that struggled to throw for 200 yards against a team that had the worst record in the NFL last year? A guy that doesn't let plays develop. He gets rid of the ball as soon as he thinks he feels any pressure. Why would you want that first option when you got the safety option of Tyrod Taylor? When I heard that, I can't even say I was surprised. That's the worst thing. Is Anthony Lynn is he's a very safe coach. You could look at that game yesterday when they punted on 4th and 1. You could argue hey, they should have gone for it. They were kind of rolling downfield, rolling through the Chiefs defense. B, the Chargers defense was exhausted, and this is coming off of a couple series where Kansas City was moving the ball well. I would have said go for it on 4th and 1. You don't get it. You're giving the ball up to the Chiefs, but that Chiefs offense is pretty much going to roll anyways.
Yeah.
So, of course, Anthony Lynn comes out and says, no, we'll stick with the safe option of Tyrod Taylor. It's like, why?
The steady hand.
Yeah, the steady hand that couldn't throw for 200 yards against the Bengals.
It's steady.
It is steady. It is steady. It's just nice. And
that hand is steady. It's rock solid.
Yeah, it is. I just don't know how after and again, not saying that Herbert had some amazing game. He made some rookie mistakes. That interception when he obviously could have had the first down, an easy first down running it. Instead, he throws it back across the field for a pick. Yeah, he made some rookie mistakes, but I was really impressed with him. And I've been a massive critic of that pick. I didn't love Herbert in college. I didn't think he'd do well in the NFL, and he came out and he looked damn good yesterday. So it's Chargers get a Charger if they decide to go with Tyrod down the future, I think. So, it sucks.
Yeah, I was down at the beach, and then I was able to catch the very end as far as the overtime and everything. But just as it was timing out, I was like, this is going to be a game where the Chargers aren't going to win. Because they were up.
I have the feeling every game, okay?
Well, yeah, same here, Raider fan.
Yes,
they're winning right now. Knock on this, whatever this material is. But I get that. I get the dread. But just the way it was going, I was like, oh, dude. It's just like the Chiefs in the Super Bowl last year. 49ers kind of had them. Couldn't make one or two plays. And it's like the Chiefs have more than enough time to go down, make this happen, and score. And they can just score like nothing. So, and the Chargers defense really played them well. They were holding them down probably as well as anyone I've seen that I can remember, even going back to last year.
That's another thing that I have a problem with this at every level of football is when you've got a defense that has been shutting people down with a particular system the entire game. Why switch to a prevent defense? Why change what's been working? In the charge, and every team does it, and I understand the theory behind it, but it's like your defense that you've been running has been shutting them down. So now why are you going to give them this 10-yard cushion every play, especially with the Chiefs where they've got guys that can just fly by you if you give them any room? That's not just a Chargers thing. That's just a coaching thing that I've always
in general, yeah.
Yeah.
But especially against a guy like Mahomes, who he can throw it all over the field, but also if you just leave like big gaps, he's fine taking off and running. I mean, you
Yeah.
saw that at the end of that game. He
Yeah.
was, just ripping off big runs when he was like, "Oh, it's good, I'll just run."
Yeah. So yeah, Chargers lost again. I mean, look, there was a lot of things to be happy about, but I was still pretty mad at just kind of how the game went down in the end. So but hey, Herbert, please stick with Herbert. I would love to see him
Keep hope
get
alive. Herbert
more action.
does show
Yeah.
promise. I'm inclined more to what Tyler is leaning with. I think just ride with Herbert. Maybe this is maybe he's saying that sort of knowing that Tyrod is not going to be 100%, so he could say, we gave him a shot, but now we're going with the hot hand. I don't know. Who knows? But there is something to be said for not just throwing a guy to the wolves also. So
Sure, I totally get that.
But I think some of the plays, some of the stuff that he showed out there, it does give a little bit of hope. So maybe gives you just a little bit more of a threat to opposing defenses. That Tyrod is going to be, conservative, like we said, a steady hand, but not going to really be a game breaker for you. Whereas Herbert can do some different things that he just doesn't have in his bag. So I don't know. Interesting to see what basically who starts for the Chargers next week. But last thing I wanted to touch on with the NFL, just more of a novelty because I had not seen it happen all season until Sunday. But of course it would happen in Philly. Again, I'm sorry, Amanda. We won't bring up the details of the game. But just like I said, a novelty that the Fox broadcast actually booed Carson Wentz twice on a 3-and-out and then on an interception. Just piping in the boos. I think that's probably the most Philly thing I've ever heard. So pretty great. I don't know if they had a Philly guy running the board up there for the Fox crew, but it was definitely getting booed at his own stadium. It just adds to the realism. That's, I charge it to that. They're doing a good job with that thing.
I think if it was a Philly guy running the board, it would have been way worse than boos.
Yeah. Where's the button that throws batteries on the field?
Exactly.
Can we just hit this bum in the head?
Yeah, been a bit of a rough start for Philly. So hopefully they can figure it out to at least make that division somewhat competitive. But God, that division is so dire right now. It's so.
And
bad.
I will say the Rams do look pretty damn good. I feel like the Rams
they look good.
A little bit of a down like last year and a half, but they look good. I mean, Goff has been a little bit better than just the thing with the Rams and Goff has always been if he's just serviceable. Look at the rest of the team. We're good. Yeah. But he's looking all right. I know Petros actually said, I saw after we were up in, LA NBC territory last Sunday. So they do the thing with him and Fred Rogan, I forgot what they call it, the Challenge. So it's like their local post wrap-up show on NBC.
Oh, okay. That's just the name of it. Okay.
And he described Goff as having the personality of a wheat thin after watching him on Hard Knocks, which is probably fair. He's kind of close to the best guy of a dead mom. Yeah. But yeah, the defense is good, obviously, with the defensive line they have. And I will say it's not super flashy, the offense they run, but it is sort of genius in its simplicity because kind of like every play looks the same at the line of scrimmage. Yeah. So everything could just like move different directions. That's what the Rams do really well. So especially with who knows how many guys are even fit to walk or may make it through the night on the 49ers. You have the Seahawks, Cardinals punching up right now. They look pretty good.
They're looking good.
I still think, I'm excited to see that first Rams-Seahawks game because I think that's going to be the class of the division right now, just to see what happens there. But pretty fun week in the NFL, I have to say.
Yep, definitely. And last we saw your Raiders were winning. I don't have a score update here, but Raiders looking good against the Saints. There's
9 minutes left. Oh.
That dread. There's that dread, baby.
They have the ball. New Orleans 33-yard line. We at least should get some points here. Come on.
Well, let's talk about for sure winners here with no dread. Let's talk about that U.S. Open with your boy,
baby.
Bryson DeChambeau getting his first major.
DeChambeau, DeSlambro, whatever you want to call him, put himself in the history books.
favorite son.
Modesto's favorite son. Also, elite company here, just the third player ever to have the NCAA individual title, U.S. amateur title, and a U.S. Open.
Huh.
Only Jack and Tiger, and now DeChambeau has done it as well. And Sunday, the course definitely played tougher than it played the rest of the week. Usually that's how it is in the majors, but he just ran through that course. He smashed a smash and grab, as the English soccer announcers like to say, including the eagle on the par 5 eighth hole, where I think it was driver, pitching wedge, 40-foot putt in for an eagle.
That's
So
insane.
he was just cooking them. And like I said, the course was not, it was finally really playing like a U.S. Open on Sunday.
Yeah.
We had Justin Thomas with this sweet. I mean, that looks like my ball tracker, except it would be to the right instead of the left. But yeah, they still put the apex on there. It's just, you have to go back and look at this for the rest of your life. That's a slap of the face.
That looks
And
like
then,
the course of my club when I throw it after I.
Yeah, that's. Oh, did we get a tracker on the club? I think
Yeah.
it went further than the ball. And then Danny Lee on the 18th hole.
God.
Woo!
Oh.
That's a 6 putt for a 10.
Oh, I watched that. And I
Or
was
a 9, sorry.
That was so, like, I was picturing me putting. I mean, he looked like me trying to putt, where it's you're only a few feet away and you continually miss and miss and miss. It was that was brutal to watch.
Well, the key thing too when you look at this is fourth shot, putt from 4 feet. The next putt was longer, 5'7". The next putt even longer, 5'10". The next putt 6'11".
Oh man!
And then he rolled it up to 3'9",
Missed.
and then had to putt from 7'7".
Oh gosh!
So yeah, that's we've all been there. We've all been there, and I will be there many times again. But shout out to, like we said, Modesto's favorite son.
Yeah,
Slam Bro.
I mean, he just really dominated. Like I took a good look at the final scores. Like I saw he won, but I didn't really look at the final scores until earlier this morning. I saw he went up shooting 6 under. Second place was par, which goes to what you said is the last couple days they really made the course into the diabolical course that they like the majors to be. But I mean, it didn't seem to bother DeSlambro at all. He just absolutely crushed it, and this is going to make his rivalry even better now that he's got that major under his belt.
He does have one of those U.S. Open trophies to throw at Brooks. I mean, he's still looking up at him, but I would have to say I've come to enjoy DeChambeau.
Yeah.
Some of the slow play, some of the complaining about ants and other weird things. Could do without that, but it does make it interesting. And Brooks has pretty much been winning the social media shadow war that they've been having. So I felt good for him. Other people have been skeptical of, he can hit a ton, but that's not how you can win these major tournaments and stuff like that. And I think he kind of showed that, it can be done. He was making the putts. He was, yes, he was hitting bombs. He was hitting absolute bombs, as he always does. But he was keeping them in the fairway, and he was making the putts he had to make, so he pulled that off. And I did see Golf Digest also hinting that maybe other golfers are going to be taking a cue from Bryson here. And this is the day after. Just, you know what? No, give me the whole can. I can those gains, baby.
That's
trying
it,
to hit bombs out here. So shout out to the Valley kid getting it done, getting that U.S. Open. That's always a nice one for the mantle for any golfer.
Speaking of Valley kids getting it done, do also got to say, being that we are, of course, the NASCAR show of record here on the Quarantine Network. They had the Bristol Knights race this weekend, the last race of the first round of the playoffs. Kevin Harvick does what Kevin Harvick does, gets another win on the year. He was already through, but he was like,
that's our guy.
He's like, you know what? I still let's just keep this winning thing going. So he gets on through. So now they are on to the second round of the playoffs. You have 12 racers for the next 3 races. Obviously, if you win, you're through. Otherwise, you're going on points. This next weekend, they will be in Vegas, which been to that track before. My parents have been there as well and hated it because it was hot as hell and they ran out of water. So, that was not a good look for NASCAR at that track. But I always enjoy the Vegas races, so definitely be checking that one out. Again, hopefully Harvick can keep this up. Again, anybody that wins one of the next 3 races is automatically through the next round. But shout out to the local boy Kevin Harvick, adding on to that top 10 NASCAR win total that he's got.
Yeah, he's just been. He's hasn't won every race, but relatively speaking, almost untouchable just
Mhm.
consistently for the whole season. So he's had the best car, best plan, and he went out and won that race anyway. It didn't really have any impact on his playoff chances, but he's hot right now. So shout out to him, and hopefully he just keeps it rolling through the playoffs and brings it home.
And I just want to give a quick note in other NASCAR news. I saw this about an hour before we jumped on here that next year there will be a new racing team, and the majority owner of that team is one Mr. Michael Jeffrey Jordan. He's now getting into the NASCAR game. He'll be majority owner of a team along with Denny Hamlin. They've also confirmed that Bubba Wallace will be on their team. He's leaving, I believe he was with Petty this year. So he's that team jumping to Jordan. So something to look at on. I mean, I'll be interested to see. We all know that Jordan, loves to gamble and hates to lose. I'm not sure
hates to lose at anything.
First. So how long until you pointed out the scenario that he'll just eventually try to drive the car himself if his team isn't winning.
Make him pit. I'm getting in that car. Sir, please, no.
I mean, I think that's also just cool for NASCAR, just kind of more like marketing, like, hey, look who's in the game now. We got Michael Jordan. Like, it'll draw eyes. So,
he's already been sponsoring Hamlin for a while, so which is always funny to see, the Jordan, the jump man, on like a race fire suit. Every time I see that, I still laugh. But yeah, well, it'd be interesting to see what he does when he gets in there. Hopefully it's not a Bobcats type scenario, but
where he's out there in a practice session just racing Hamlin one-on-one until he finally wins. Double or nothing. Yeah. Double or nothing.
I need to get on the plane, sir. No.
I'll race you to the next race. Let's go. Taking their cars out on the highway.
Always nice to have, bring in some more high-profile guys like that into NASCAR, though. So I'll look forward to seeing that as well. I had... we'll get to that in a second. But we'll swerve over to the basketball now. We had the Western Conference Finals Game 2 yesterday. Mm-hmm. Lakers looked pretty strong in the first half, and then definitely it seemed like they took their foot off the gas in the second half. The Nuggets also played really well. There was a stretch there, especially in the fourth quarter, where Jokic just took over and was literally unstoppable. I think he scored like 10 or 11 straight points from pretty much everywhere that you could score. I mean, he hit a three for the first time in like 3 games. Yes, he does have that shot, but I think he's more effective kind of either on the block or like up, like free throw extended area, because he's such a good passer too. So if you draw 2 guys to him, he just, like we saw in the last game of the Clippers series, where he just flipped it behind, like the complete like no look, like the ultimate no look. So that's a guy that's just a really good basketball player. But Anthony Davis hits a game winner, saves the Lakers from going to a 1-1 situation there. That's going to be tough for the Nuggets to come back from. But if it was any other team other than the Nuggets, I would say they're probably dead. The Nuggets have pretty much made a name for themselves of pulling off these comebacks. They were down 10 at halftime in yesterday's game. Came back. They briefly took a lead, I think, for 1 or 2 possessions. Mm-hmm. And Anthony Davis just hit a great shot. The play was kind of weird. Plumlee had him on the inbounds. I think the Nuggets were a little confused because they thought there was going to be a pick set for LeBron, and it was going to be Anthony Davis getting the ball basically where he had it, but with a guy on him, and then just trying to like flip it over to LeBron to shoot to the basket. That it's definitely a situation where it's switch everything, and you see Plumlee on the replay call for the switch. I don't think Grant, because LeBron basically just sort of took like 2 steps forward and just sort of like held him up like this, and Grant was pretty much looking like at his sternum. I honestly don't think Grant saw Anthony Davis coming free. I don't if he didn't hear Plumlee calling for the switch or whatever. Jokic, because he's huge, was able to actually get like some kind of defense on the shot, but it was definitely a missed defensive assignment because the way they were playing that was 100% switch everything, and the switch just didn't happen there. And Anthony Davis is still 7 foot tall, so I mean, you saw the arc on the shot. It was crazy. Like, tough shot to block, if not at least alter. But he hit the shot. My favorite part about it, though, was he comes running back. Also like that he did give the Kobe shout out. I hope that just becomes a thing. It doesn't have to be a Laker. Anyone that hits a shot, just hit it with the Kobe. If I, throw a ball of trash in the trash can, you got to say Kobe.
Exactly.
But he goes running back towards the bench. Bench comes running towards him. and this poor trainer, coach, or some kind of support staff just gets destroyed by. I mean, it was his fault for trying to jump up with someone that can, one, jump as high as Anthony Davis, and two, is as huge as Anthony Davis. But he got rocked, and Kaga. You see a couple worried onlookers actually turn their attention to the trainer coach. That was the best angle we got to show it one more time.
They were calling
for
a stretcher right away. Just let's go. Let's not take any chances.
I haven't heard any updates as far as if that guy's going to be able to make it to the sidelines for tomorrow's game. It's probably a game time decision. He might have got concussed. I know he was in the thrill of the moment. He still was doing this, but looked like he took quite a blow there.
No, that's actually the side of gush. That's the fencing response where you just lose control of your limbs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Nick, with the comment here, I just want to say, I think that was a sort of a cathartic moment for AD. Everyone's sort of thinking LeBron's always taking the last shot on this team. Sort of not. He's really not been that deep in the playoffs for being around for the 5-6 years he's been in the league, but he hit the big shot. He hit another big shot with about 3 minutes left from about the same spot, a 3-point shot, and I think if they get up 3-0, that's probably going to be it for the Nuggets. But I do expect to see all their best punches in the next game tomorrow night. I'm not writing that team off yet, just because, like I said, they've made their whole name in this bubble by just pulling off these huge comebacks, and they just never stop. So, plus they can score so quickly with Murray, and Jokic can, like I said, score from anywhere and open up other guys. So, and a lot of the role player guys were getting in there really, as far as that run to get them back in the game, playing good defense, just playing smart. I'm not counting it out. 3-0 is probably a bridge too far, but 2-0, we'll wait and see. I'll still be looking forward to tomorrow's game.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I don't know if I think the Lakers will sweep this. I do think the Lakers will win this. I mean, just they've, Denver made a nice comeback. And, of course, I'm saying this, and Denver's proved everybody wrong because they've been saying the same thing. But I just feel like there's a difference in that the Lakers have LeBron James, that if need be, he will D up on Jamal Murray. Or if he'll D up on Jokic if he has to in those clutch situations. And I don't think he will, allow them to make the comebacks they've been doing. So it's just, again, don't count the Nuggets out at all. But I just think, having LeBron there as a better defender than the previous teams that the Nuggets have been playing will, really pay off with him. So, but again, I could be completely wrong. Who knows? The Nuggets could just get hot and win the next 4. I mean, that's just how they've been. So it's, I don't know. It'll be interesting to look forward on this one for sure.
Cease with the comment. How did equality do in the game? I don't know who all was wearing the equality, but I'm assuming one of them probably had a pretty good game. So I'm going to say equality probably was balling out.
8-5. We'll say 8-5.
Yeah, there you go. We'll take that. But a solid game. That's what you can get from equality. Just a solid,
good role play. Yeah.
Reliable performance. Exactly.
By the way, I do see the Barons shouting out your cousin for making the game-winning shot there.
Oh, yes. Cousin Anthony. That's right.
Yes.
My cousin Anthony Davis as the Raiders hold on to a tenuous now, 31-24 lead?
24, yeah. Kamara just scored.
Also wanted to point out, though, at least I was able to somewhat hedge my bet because I do have – this is my fantasy situation right now. I still have Breeze going. This was at halftime, too, so these points have moved up. But I do have Kamara and Breeze, so one way or the other, I'm going to get some kind of win here, all right? It could be a disastrous Raiders collapse, but my fantasy team's good. I think my fantasy team is in the lead already. So Breeze and Kamara, you could chill out for now. That'd be fine with me. And we get this Raider win, that'd be nice. But just going to hope that everything works out for the best there. Also, give a shout out to Tyler as far as fantasy football because he just ran wild on friend of the program, Corey. Just the absolute smackdown there.
Yeah, Josh Allen and Aaron Jones. I don't know how you all let Aaron Jones fall back to me in the middle of the second round, but thank you for it.
Aaron Jones had a day.
He did, but it was fun fantasy weekend, definitely. Let's see here. What else do we have? we did have a fight this weekend, Ronnie. I don't know if you want to cue up the intro for us here to discuss a little bit of the impressive showing from the UFC this weekend.
Yes, sir. Let's give it up to the fight doctor.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. The heavyweight champion of the world.
It's time! All right, so
Sorry.
take us through it.
Sorry, during the intro, I got a text
here?
from Commissioner. I just got a text from Commissioner Kwan, and I'm guessing he took the lead because all his text is just GD it, don't go backwards. So I'm guessing he took the lead on Tom. But so we did have a fight night this weekend, the last fight leading up to the big middleweight fight this Saturday. But it was a really, outside of the main event, it was a really good card this weekend. I'll just kind of touch on the main event here. We had Colby Covington beating Tyron Woodley by submission. Tyron Woodley, of course, the former welterweight champ, who since losing the title has lost 15 rounds consecutively. He was losing. On my scorecard, and I think a lot of people's scorecard, he lost the first 4 rounds of his fight against Covington. In the 5th round, he was working to get a guillotine choke on Covington. But Woodley broke his rib at some point in time. Woodley put all his weight on it, or when Covington put all his weight on the broken rib, Woodley verbally submitted. That was the first time I've seen a guy have somebody in a submission, but then the guy doing the submission tapped out. So really weird fight. I mean, Woodley he's not the same. There's just no desire in there. He barely throws any punches. It's just like there's something wrong with him. I don't know if he needs to see a sports psychologist or just get out of the game while he has relative health. I don't know. But that was a really weird fight. Semi-main event, of course, my guy, Donald Cowboy Cerrone, speaking of probably needs to retire, took on Nico Price. It wound up being a majority draw with one judge giving the fight 29-27 to Cerrone. The other two had it 28-28, although it has to be noted that Price was deducted 1 point in the first round for multiple eye pokes. So really, one judge had it a draw, and the other two had it for Price. So
right,
Cerrone I'm not questioning the guy's heart. Not questioning his heart. He wants to fight, but it's at a certain point, it's not there. And he was definitely getting beat up that first round. Could barely throw any counter punches. Finally started to get some going a little bit in later rounds, but I hate to see it, but man, I just don't know. I don't think Cowboy has it anymore, and I hate to say it.
I'd love to see him just get one more win, go out with a win, just kind of go out on top. It's not going to be like a title fight or anything, but just go out on a win. And like you said, he's a game fighter. He's always been game. He just loves the fight game. But I don't want to see this just like dwindle out, where he's just getting whooped up on.
Yeah, but I think the big news, the big deal coming out of the fight this past weekend was Khamzat Chimaev. Just this dude is a problem, and he's an
animal.
And he's a problem in 2 weight classes. He fought this week in a middleweight, but he's fought welterweight before. He can jump between the two, but he made very, very quick work this weekend of Gerald Mearshart. Chimaev threw 1 punch. 17 seconds of the fight, throws 1 punch, drops him, and that's it. Yeah. So this guy, in his last 3 fights, I think he's only taken 2 punches in his last 3 fights.
I saw this from PT Sport. 3 fights, 3 finishes. First of all, 66 days also.
Yeah, so, that's insane.
But I guess he's not tired because he just takes care of business pretty quickly. 196 strikes landed, 2 strikes received. So that is going to be terrifying for anyone that's in his way coming up.
Well, he already has before this fight started, he already signed a contract for his next fight, which will be against former championship contender Damian Maia, who that's not
confirmed. Okay,
yeah, they haven't set the date, but they both signed the contract saying we are going to fight. Maia, Maia's not a pushover. It'll definitely be the best competitor Chimaev's fought, but when you look at Maia's record, all of his losses are against guys that were at the absolute top of the game when they fought him. So, again, he's not a pushover. I mean, Chimaev is just, that guy is an absolute animal, an absolute terror. I am kind of afraid for Maia, honestly. Like, he's just an absolute beast. Although, saying Chimaev's an absolute beast, apparently he's actually a sweetheart, Ronnie. Do you happen to have that video that you showed me earlier?
I do. I found out about this after the fact, but this was maybe 2 or 3 days before the fight, just in the build-up. He's just down on the strip and sees a homeless guy with a shopping cart here. And he's, just doing the Good Samaritan thing, trying to help him get across the street. He's got a bunch of stuff in the cart. Looks like it's about to tip over. The guy's kind of skeptical or not know what's going on. I like this part. He's like, I'm a guy that I fight. I'm like the box, fighter guy. So I don't know who captured this, but he helps him across the street here.
That's nice.
Just sort of, walking with him. And see the McDonald's there on the horizon, if you will. They get over to the McDonald's, and he's still with me? All right, we're good. Recognize the McDonald's. Hey, you want something? A cheeseburger, whatever, I'll help you out. And this is the best part. He's just, all right, just gets in line behind this Kia on foot, though. And, I'll just wait here. It just takes a spot in line.
Look, are you going to tell him he can't walk through the drive-thru? Because I'm not. I'm not going to tell that man anything.
Of all the things you want to deal with late night doing the drive-thru at McDonald's, it's not that. Sir, you can't come up on foot. Oh, it's you. Anything, champ.
Anything,
what do you
champ?
want?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, first of all, there's always the thing of like, whenever he's introduced, he's always billed as being from Sweden because that's where he lives, that's where he trains. I mean, that's a dude that was born in Chechnya, talking the rough part, and then fled from there. Like, I would say any fighter that has any connection to Russia, I will not mess with because, those dudes have seen some shit.
To say the least.
So yeah, that's definitely not a guy that I would say anything to. I'd be like, oh yeah, you're fine. Like, you know what? Jump in front of me. Actually, go ahead. You're fine.
It was Jerry.
Exactly. Hey, come on, guys, shut up. But overall, a very good card. Again, top. With the exception of the main event, it was a pretty exciting card. And again, this upcoming weekend we have the middleweight title fight. We'll give a little bit more analysis on that come Friday. But big fight between Adesanya and Paulo Costa. As of right now, I still actually don't know who I'm rooting for. I've kind of gone back and forth on that one. Both guys have their advantages. It's kind of a inside fighter versus outside fighter. Maybe I'll have a prediction Friday, but if I do, of course, it's for entertainment purposes only. Please remember.
You know that.
But no, good fights this weekend. That's for sure.
Yeah, and the legend just grows with this guy. He's like a comet. He's just come in, and I mean, he's 3 fights in the division in the promotion, and just ran through this whole thing. So, and it's 66 days. So that's a crazy thing to me. That's like mind-boggling.
Yeah, 9-0. He's never gone past the second round, but he's never been in trouble. I mean that is partly worrying, but at the same time, like when you watch him fight, it's like I can see why he's never been in trouble. Like he's legit. He just straight up mauls people. It's scary.
And I mean, Maia's more of like a submission type guy anyway, right? Like I don't.
Yeah. I mean, he's a guy. He can stand. Like for a period of time, he was kind of like trying to get rid of the I'm only a submission fighter guy. And he got some knockouts, but he's mostly a submission fighter.
I just don't see him doing that. Come on.
No.
I don't see anyone doing that to him. The streak that he's on, like right now, just in this moment in time, like anyone can get got. But right now, I don't see him getting submitted.
If he does, it's going to be like that Chael or like the first Chael Anderson fight where it's like, Chael's just on top beating the crap out of him for 4.5 rounds. And then, just a miracle triangle choke gets in there.
Yeah, just like, the whole thing flipped over on its head.
Yeah. But, definitely looking forward to seeing Chimaev anytime he's going to get in the ring. I'm all for it.
And I'm sure Dana has to be thrilled.
Oh, for sure.
Let's get some marketable guys in there.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I had, except I had one thing I wanted to share with you guys. I saw this over the weekend. I did not watch the game. There's too much going on. But I just thought it was brilliant. It made me laugh. I've watched it about 25 times. I feel like you guys would enjoy it. This is Wake Forest women's soccer. They were taking on Duke. Wake Forest, I believe, is one of the top-ranked teams in the country.
Usually, yes.
0-0 going into the maybe like 2 or 3 minutes left. They actually draw a penalty, pretty bad penalty. It's kind of right down the middle. The Duke goalie saves it, and the coach for Wake Forest wasn't pleased, and he took it out, or he tried to take it out on a sideline crate for water bottles. God! Somebody help me! Don't just stand there. You're all cut. Why do we even have crates? God!
I love just the defeated sit down. Just like, oh, fuck, fine.
I thought I could just flick this thing off, but it's like totally caught up under him. Like stuck in a lawnmower. I like the girl, 2 girls over, too, that's sort of like, I'm just going to look away.
Yeah, I didn't see this. I didn't see this.
If I keep looking, I'm just going to laugh, and I don't want to get in trouble, so.
Hey, look, as a guy that has had some funny shit happen to him on the sidelines as a coach, I can understand where that coach is coming from. I've been, while like jumping around celebrating, got my pants caught on the edge of a bench and just like completely ripped them up. Hey, stuff happens when you're in the heat of the moment, man. I get it, coach. I get it.
He's a passionate man, all right?
Yeah.
He was upset. It wasn't a very good penalty kick. But that crate got the best of him that day. On the day.
On the day, yes.
Good times. I hope he's okay. Ice up the ankle, whatever. He should be fine.
Ice up, son.
Ice up, son. Oh, I'm afraid to look. Oh, Raiders up by 10.
Ooh. How much time is left?
That was
44
seconds. All right.
Oh, boy.
We might be big chilling.
Yeah,
the Las Vegas Raiders remain undefeated in franchise history.
Sitting on top of the AFC West with the Chiefs. Impressive.
Well, their defense is not going to do nearly as good of a job against the Chiefs as the Chargers did. And their offense probably won't do that much better either. But at least we got Jacobs.
There you go.
Keep winning, baby. I like that. So with that, I will hopefully run inside and catch the celebratory aftermath, unless something terrible happens. But thank you guys again for watching. Thank you, Tyler. We'll be back with you guys on Wednesday for a 30-minute show, so we look forward to hearing from you then. But Tyler, what else you got before we get out of here and enjoy the rest of our evening? Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you guys for watching. Stick around here on the network. We got the Book Club for TV with Patrice coming up. Patrice.
You guys know the drill as always. Keep the fire.
Keep the fire.
At the buzzer.